Well, ladies and gentlemen, episode 2 already fumbling, okay? Episode 2 has officially gone public. I think yesterday. Do they make them public on Mondays and then like the new episode comes Thursday? Well, the new episode has gone public. I finished off from where I fell asleep. So let's just get into the video very quickly. Remember, be your authentic self. We're all over the place right now. Thank you guys for tapping in. Wait until you see my scrawled notes as well. But thank you for tapping in the frequency. Remember to be your authentic self. Remember to be kind to yourself and truthfully love yourself and be able to spread that love externally of you. Other than that, yeah, man, be your authentic self as long as you don't step on anyone else's path. Much love. Let's get it. Pan to Critical Role intro. Nah, I'm kidding. So I've got a ton of notes, and I think it would be just funny to share with you guys some of those note-taking skills. I usually have way neater notes, and I have, not to toot my own horn, I have some beautiful handwriting. This is not it. I mean, even if I show you guys this, should I give a quick flash? You really couldn't see anything. All right. Actually, so I put Critical Role up there. I did see one of you guys comment that I should put something Critical Role related scrolling back there, like the character sheets or something. I got to figure out how to do that. Because it's not connected to like a laptop or my phone. It's just a Roku. So I'll figure it out some way. Get it slide. If it was connected to my computer, it'd be easy to throw like a little slideshow up there, like GIFs and weird other mysterious or mischievous. Which word did I want to say? I don't know. We're going to go with mysterious memes for now. But yeah, I'm going to share a couple of these. Are y'all ready? So, again, we're reviewing the episode. So, like, I would say no spoilers. Or, what not... I would say spoilers, but it's a review. So, there's going to be spoilers. So, if you're watching and don't want spoilers, I don't know why you clicked on the video. But let's get it. So, here we go. So, these are not in order at all. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to talk about them in order because I was going to go off of memory of what I remember from the first section as I fell asleep. And then everything else after that, like that, the rest of the like 30 minutes, then up to the break. And then the rest is noted down, jotted, but whatever, with things I found interesting or important. And I want to set a precedent for all of these reviews that I'm going to do in the future, because I think I'm going to hit every episode, because why the heck not? You guys like hearing me yap? I'll yap. But my passion's back for this campaign, so I'm very glad. It feels like campaign 2, but if you heard the other videos, you know, not all the way campaign 2. Let it be its own thing. So here we go. Here's some of the titles that I have in here. Oh man, I wish the pages weren't stuck together because... Get my little blue light glasses on. All right, you guys ready for this? We have Sir Julian Daddy Issues. I don't know if I should say that in video. Okay, I'm referring to chickens, but Sir Julian Cockanos for other reasons. Why would I write this shit? Lord Primus, ? Black Box Taliesin. That's an interesting. Black Box Belair, more. BBB. Marisha Shaper's Anus. Or, well, Marisha, but Murray. Wikander's house is responsible for a lot. Belair Dirty Work. There's the Sir Julian Cockanos. I'm referring to chickens. Taor. Wikander is in awe. Okay, I'm making this a little PG-13, but Wikander in awe of Taor, but I have it as like Wikander. Yeah. Wikander's grandma, I think it was, the Proctor or Yanessa, right? Doesn't trust Taor because of the old torn banner, so we got that. Veilous moment with Octus. Okay, yeah, so that. The coffin of Obalad. Sister of the Mist, Celestial, a psychopomp, which is really cool because I never knew like Hermes and other gods were considered psychopomps. Gods are basically part-time, well, they're divine, they're gods, but part-time psychopomps where they, or part-time they take souls back and forth from the dead, which made sense for Hermes when I found that out. But Hermes is psychopomp. So Obalad, or also goes by the Sister of the Mist, the halfling god of death. Psychopomp. We got that written down. Celestials went bonkers after the gods died. Feral in all caps. ELP, Euripides, I think. Shoot her in the face, kapow. That's the moment when Moray's back at wherever the place is called. What else do we got here? Craw Cavern, Octus, and then Azune, scheduled patrol switch, Taconis, everything. So now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about it and let's actually break them down. They're not going to be in order. Let's talk about each moment because they stuck out to me. But you know what? Let's get Sir Julian Kakanos out the way first, referring to chickens, and who he was roosting with. But I felt like that was hilarious to see his character basically wasted after. It's just funny, a funny setup. The man just went to a funeral yesterday, and then he's waking up in like a brothel. And then the Sir Julian daddy issues is because his father, when he came to pick him up, it doesn't seem like the most untoxic family dynamic, but his father filled Lady Aranessa and Sir Julian in on how, what is it, the Lord Primus, oh my gosh, I'm going to say these, Takinos, I forgot how they said the name. I'm going to say Tok. So Lord Primus Tok is looking for his son. He's looking for his son. He's searching for that young boy. And it was actually a shocking scene, since I can connect this into, where ELP or Euripides was with Moray, where Moray went back to Penturvial, and Lord Primus showed up there saying like, "Where's my son?" And this is like I don't know like how tall the guy is, but Brennan said he was tall. So all of that was really, really shocking. We're getting some more lore there because it's like the son knows of like this whole thing that went awry, or and they're responsible, right? They wanted Thiazi out of the way, which was told in the other scene by Yanessa to Wikander and Tyranny. I think Tyranny was in the room, but yeah, so we'll come all back to that. Got to get Travis out of the way too, because Travis plays my favorite characters except Chetney. I like Chetney, but it was like still felt like a joke character. Tayor's moment outside with helping the dude with the cart, and the whole cart incident, and then rolling that natural 20 to just lug just hold up that chest, and the healing moment, and Wikander walking out and seeing him just with the divine light, that had me crack up. Like, and then how Travis was just like, Tayor just goes whoosh, and it's basically like a, I don't know, fucking conditioner hair shampoo commercial of this just lion presence of Tayor. But very cool, very, very, very cool. And that was just a funny moment. And there was what did I say? Wikander post heal nat 20. Oh, I think I wrote that down because it was funny when the person who was transporting the materials, Wikander was like, the person was like, "Oh, yes, sorry, your radiance. Sorry, my apologies. I'll get back to work. God bless you. Bless everything," and walked off. And Sam, as Wikander was, "Thank you, like as you should." That cracked me up. But yeah, that cracked me up. That was a good moment. And then of course Tayor becoming the bodyguard of Wikander, but Yanessa being like, you have one of the torn bander here. But it's funny because Tayor tried to roll deception. It was deception or something else, persuasion or deception. I can't remember. But it's funny how Travis is playing Tayor as well, because he's playing him pretty balanced from what I've heard, because it's a new world and he wants to go in kind of like stoic and in the middle. But it's so funny because all throughout that scene, it felt like Ford's mischievousness, or like not mischievousness, but almost like being deceptive and like, but also being honest. But Travis's mannerisms had me weak because it was like, yeah, I'm being a little bit like, I want to kind of be the security guard of the home to see if I can get in behind what's going on here. And then Yanessa like seen through it, it feels like. So that's pretty cool. The Veilus moment with Hal, or not Hal. What did I say? What did I say? I don't even know. I scribbled so much. I shouldn't have done this. I should have took neater notes. But the Veilus moment with Octus was funny, where Octus's little. This was in episode 2. Yes, it was. Where Octus, she went to talk to Thimble by herself, and and just sympathize with her, empathize, and Octus sent his little undead fox, and like instantly, basically, like of course you're gonna notice this little thing. You didn't disguise it or anything. But that was pretty funny. And one of my favorite moments of how episode 1 and 2 ended and began, though, was I like how Brennan, I said it in the other episode or the other little videos I released, where I like how Brennan said, I'm going to set a precedence for the rest of the campaign about touching things, because then it played out in episode 2 almost twice. And we're going to get to that with Murray and Belair. But what was funny is I thought that was pretty like killer to have, Taisha basically knock out from touching a box she probably should have opened. So that was cool. But Brennan feels like he's not gonna hold back, And he did say have backup characters. I really hope that wasn't all talk, because in campaign 2, so spoilers for any new critters, I'm just gonna say this really quickly and then move on. But when Molly died, that kind of blew my mind, because it didn't feel like Matt was being too like out to kind of get their characters. Not saying that Brennan is, but it feels like Brennan intends to have this be like, you're going to have encounters, there's going to be fighting, this world is torn, the gods are dead, like there's danger, there's our moments to have fun and everything, but it's rooted, it's grounded, it's going to be darker and grittier. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to see some character deaths or potential combat encounters where he's not intentionally trying to kill them, but saying, see, and this is what's difficult for me, saying something like, you guys better have backup characters ready. It kind of does sound like he's going to make some encounters where like you got to be on your toes or you're going to lose your character. So that's one of the things that really excited me. I really like Brennan's DM style, and I like how he's handling switching everybody back and forth. But okay, now I'm still going to be jumping around. I'm so sorry. My next thing that I want to jump to is Belair and Moray's moment in the museum. It was funny with the whole, you approach some of the exhibits and then they talk. There was funny moments seeing like Robbie and like, I forgot who was sitting next to Robbie at this scene, but like giggle to each other, like how the exhibit interacts with when you walk up to them and stuff. But it was crazy learning about the box and what was coming out of the box. And that was Marisha's little moment, like the Shaper's anus. That had me cracking up, and Belair being like disgusting. But the little black box moment, I wanted to bring up that black box moment because that's really cool. The first time I heard of the black box, and let me bring this up. Okay, so see, there's two things I found. So if you guys are anime watchers, there was a moment in the series, which hopefully this isn't spoilers for anyone, where Sukuna referred to a black box, refers to a censored or unknown technique that he activates by saying open or fuga. It's not a literal box, but a conceptual system in his brain that allows him to create a flaming bow and arrow, a technique that's used against the character in the thing. Now, there's also this that I learned about is black box learning in machine learning, but black box refers to two main concepts. It describes models who decision making, blah, blah, blah. You could read it. But I heard that this is actually a learning method in, I don't know, certain cultures. But I'm not too, I'll say this, in a consciousness way, and from an anime head in my own head canon of what a black box is essentially like this meditative place in your mind, or it's like a store area of you having a certain like knowledge on something or ability that maybe holds techniques, in this case like Sukuna, where you can go in your mind and be like black box open, and it gives you this set of skills. Probably something you can master in real life with meditation, some sort of flow state or just thing you activate, or it could have many different names. But also, I seen a creator make a real video talking about black box learning methods. So I think it's a real learning method. But if you guys want to do your research and, you know, find out for yourself, go ahead. But how I internalize the meaning of a black box is essentially like this part of your mind maybe you train, and then like you could put it away in like your subconscious or something and pull on that for certain information that you need. And yeah, right here. So when Taliesin said, okay, like, you know, Marissa's character is not going to see this moment, but I'm gonna kind of drift into the black box. Well, it makes more sense because he wouldn't really have to drift, or she wouldn't see it anyways, because technically you could just be like literally standing there consciously and drift kind of into that place and open it in your mind without saying it out loud. I think for Jujutsu Kaisen, they said it out loud for us, like kind of like to realize like what he's doing. Maybe not, but I think it could just be done mentally. So that was really cool to me that Taliesin had this idea of having a black box. Now, it may not be any of that. And I don't know where the inspiration for it came from. It could be the more machine learning AI thing that I just looked up. But essentially, that is going to be cool to see expanded upon. And everything about that scene and them breaking down what this coffin was really, really cool. I'm definitely someone who I love like deities or divine entities that are psychopomps. I was obsessed with learning like this kind of like recently after K-pop Demon Hunters, where the entities in the show though shifted more into like a more evil perspective for the sake of not the show but the sake of the movie. In real life they were psychopomps, or they would be psychopomps, where it's not really, it's like they actually made the journey to the other lives, other worlds, they eased the pain and whatever suffering, or they made it an easier journey. So it's funny when you learn the origin and it's like, oh, how the show twisted it and made them evil, but really I think it was like the outfits of them or something were also like the psychopomps of that culture. Korean, okay, you get it. So yeah, so, and I thought it was crazy that to hear that the Celestials went bonkers, and essentially if this is a coffin for Obalad and it's like a void, like basically you put your hand in or you put any tools, it's gone. But Belair said, let's get something organic in this chest that can like, you know, record whatever this, you know, pocket dimension it may be falling into. But that's the thing. This chest was opened by Taisha and Hal accidentally, or something bursted out of it, which it's kind of like, did something just come out of this coffin? I'm assuming that's what we're led to believe now. Like, or it was opened and there's nothing in it, meaning there's a celestial on the loose. So anyways, I'm having a great time with this, you guys. This is awesome. I mean, I don't want to keep you guys here too long and talking about way too much. Again, I got like the notes of Azune. I thought it was cool. I didn't really learn too much. I was kind of clocked out for this, what Azune's little guard he's a part of or whatever. But since the episode, what I just got to at the end, kind of left off with Cadigan, Thimble, and Octus going to the Crow Keepers little cavern hill little bar that they all congregate around, and then it turning into an initiative was crazy. I'm like, oh, but Azune also switched his schedule to be on that patrol to go to Caravan Hill so he could get closer and maybe get some information. I wonder if Azune is going to pop into this bar or hear the commotion in the next episode, so that'll be really cool to see them all link up. Yeah, Taconis, the Lord Primus Taconis walking in on Marae and ELP is kind of crazy. And even that part, I was going to say that it seems like magic is outlawed in this world, but I think that was said before, like magic use and arcane use is like more restricted in this world, which is interesting because that made me kind of jump back to what they said about campaign 2, how people got their magic and learned their magic and how magic was, and Dunamancy in campaign 2 had a very interesting origin as well. So it's going to be cool to see how like the characters, like for example Teor, how Wikander is like, where does his magic come from? Like he's touched by the light. And then, you know, we get to the end of the episode with Wikander and they got this 30-foot tall angel strapped in an Iron Maiden, chained up something nasty, as I wrote down, you know, and it's his grandfather. So I guess the sorcerer high charisma stat things rumors were true. He's gonna be like, he has some powers from some celestial entity that's lost its mind now because the gods are gone. So if that's Wick's grandfather, he probably went feral and they had to chain him up, but they said, hey, we can bleed him. Nasty, but crazy. This is fucked. 30-foot tall angel, what I can only imagine is like a mix from a biblically accurate angel to a humanoid angel to like some weird dark and decrepit rotted rows of teeth, like, I don't know, distorted creature now. But yeah, and let me not go too off the whole topic of magic really quickly. At the Penteveral, which Euripides was, you know, being forced basically to resign, or they would have, you know, revoked casting magic on student grounds. And this came from the Revolutionary Council and everything I wrote too. But honestly, I'm not going to touch too much on that here. But yeah, and Cora, I don't know. Cora's a name in there. I think that's Murray said Cora is the one that's like with them on this. I don't know. I wrote it down all out of order, but I will definitely write it in order next time. I just wanted to get this out for y'all because episode 2 was definitely a whole bunch of stuff dropping. That was really, I was so glad to go back and watch it. I had like a little moment from Cadigan, but I think I'm going to wrap up the video by just talking about, I don't know, more of what I think so far. All these moments are wild, man. It's crazy. I'm really liking Bolaire. I'm really liking Marisha's character. I keep looking at Sir Julian Concanos. But yeah, I think the whole thing with Murray being like, yeah, just you should just start. When Brennan was like, I think they were talking about Cora. And Euripides, as I wrote in the journal, ELP, as Brennan was playing, was just basically like, what do you want me to do when the council comes in here or they go to resign me? You want me to just start flinging lightning bolts? Like, Marisha playing Murray was like, yeah, like, why not? So that part had me crack up. Guys, I'm loving this campaign. You know what I'm going to say? Is in campaign 2, I ended up predicting the ending, or I ended up basically figuring out that what it was going to end up being. Again, I don't want to spoil for anyone, so I'm not going to say that. I actually have a short video on my channel showing how I ended up putting the pieces together, like when Marisha was doing the thumbtack and thread and really connecting everything, the 9 eyes, 9, you know. But for this campaign, I think I'm just going to watch and enjoy it and not try to do too much. I'm just going to talk about the moments and laugh and maybe speculate here and there. When it comes to the actual like rules to D&D and how like sorcerer or certain subclasses will play a role, I don't know if I'll get into the nitty-gritty of that. I'll try, but you know, you guys might eat me up in the comments. But as for now, I'm very interested in to know what Travis's character's brother, so Tayor's brother Sid, where it went wrong. I wonder if Sid is like an accomplice, a traitor. That would be a very crazy twist. But I'm really interested on that storyline because Sid was supposed to be the getaway driver. So I really wonder. And then this is the first time we've seen someone from the Taconis family, right? Or am I wrong? I'm pretty sure like Lord Primus. That shocked me when Lord Primus just shown up and was like, my son studies here from time to time. Where is he at? And then Sir Julian's family is now trying to get to that boy first before, you know, but yeah, and it's cool because Hal took the note from Thimble to get to give to Bolaire. So I wonder if they're gonna all end up crossing. It's kind of cool how they're structuring it. It doesn't feel too crazy to follow. It's just like, okay, it's all intertwining. And I'm not gonna lie, after episode 2, a lot of stuff is making a lot more sense. I love how Sam is playing Wikander as well. It is so funny. Like, he's really starting off this faithful character to have his whole reality shattered on where he gets his magic from. He just gets it from Grandpappy, apparently, from what it's looking like. Sam was like, no, do not end the episode. What is this? And this is what I want to bring to you guys. I want to ask, because this campaign is definitely more structured than campaign 2, which I wonder, are there choices? I know I've watched a couple podcasts that they were on talking to whoever was interviewing them, saying like, no, like it really, aside from preparing for the initial episode and going over some things behind the scenes, like characters speak with characters and maybe Matt helping Brennan with the story, there's nothing that they know. Like Brennan, it's really just unknown. It's so crazy how everything is kind of like congealing together. It's pretty wild to see, because I'm like, dude, this feels like I'm watching a series where they're just all making really the right moves. But I mean, they're set up with the right motivations. What the hell went wrong with the Ozzy sting? We got to figure this out. Who was involved? Where's Sid? Why was this a problem? Sir Julian Davenos and how the Taconis is involved, and there's some shifting in power, and Yanessa, you know, Wakander's family's got some stuff going on, like want to be allied with the right people, but also don't want to end up with a knife in their back. But the thing is if you're in sneaky business with shifty individuals, you always got to be worried about a knife ending up in your back, because you're already involved in shifty business. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you're going to be doing some shifty stuff, you got to expect the shade to be cast upon you eventually. So anyways, it's all interesting. It's all coming together. Episode 3, I feel like, is going to be insane. It's going to start off insane because we got a battle kicking off with Octus, Cadigan, and Thimble, which that was a cool moment too, where Thimble was just, where's Cass? And a little bit, should I talk about the corny moment? Okay, I'm sorry. Abrea saying Tinker Hell was a little bit corny to me. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. I know shit I say is cringe and corny sometimes, but it's a matter of perspective, right? But anyways, as Tinker Hell approached the gentleman known as Solomon, that was really cool too. Like, it feels like Brennan's quick with it. When Laura decided to go, hey, do I recognize any of the people in here? Brennan rolled the dice and said, not, or does anyone in here recognize me? Brennan was, roll the dice, said, not that you know of. I'm like, bro, it just felt like it was getting tense. And then even when she was like, where's Kaz? I'm like, and Brennan was, make a persuasion check. She rolled, it was bad. And he was like, roll for initiative. I was like, what is this? This is exactly what I needed, man. This is exactly what I needed. I feel like the balance between just absolute bomb drops and stuffs of information and things connecting, and how characters' lines, even though they're small, like the Sir Julian Davenos little storyline and his character arc, and the characters connected to him, like Lady Aranessa and everything, it's being handled very well. I think I think it's being hopping back and forth, even like Tayar going off to go see Wakander, and then us getting a little bit into insight. Even now we know his weapon. He pulled out this heavy shielded flail and put it on the table. So that's like cool. It feels like it's jumping around perfectly. Like, Brennan is doing masterful, and you know, they have like production and everything helping as well to make sure that like the ship sails smoothly. I think Matt's helping him with some of the stuff, right? But he still doesn't know like what Brennan has in store. And that's what just blows my mind for this, is like, it feels so well put together that it's hard to think that this, and I think I was the same with campaign 2 when I started. It was hard to believe that this was D&D, and that, you know, the dice was deciding the fate, and that they really don't know what's going to happen next. And I also want to know, because obviously they all worked with, I remember Brennan saying this, I think they all decided like which characters they want to come in together, and who was going to come with who, and whose backstory was going to attach to their backstory, et cetera, et cetera. But the way Sam reacted, it seemed like he didn't know, like he really didn't know where he got his powers from, or how Brennan was going to turn it into, like, we seen he had high charisma, so there was some shenanigans we thought were going on with sorcery and this and that. But like, he didn't know it was going to be attached to his grandfather that's a celestial, chained up in this Iron Maiden, being bled dry for its, what, ambrosia? I know ambrosia was the drink of Greek gods or something. I don't know if it flowed in their veins, but I think that was a different thing. They, like, there's an actual name for the blood, or ichor. Is that what bled from the gods? I don't know. Anyways, too many things up here. But you know what I'm saying? It's being done so well that I can't believe that there are some aspects, or a majority aspects, that they really don't know outside of like the base of how their character entered the show. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Klarna, guys, Klarna. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Give me 1 sec to recap and leave you guys with just some good stuff. Let's see. I finally figured out what I was gonna say. I took a little bit of a break. I think we got an amazing campaign on our hands, folks. I think it, at least for me personally, it brought back the spark, the same spark I had for campaign 2. I've definitely been here for every episode at the start of this. I did it at the campaign 2. What am I even talking about? There's only 2 episodes out. But again, with that said, it's only still the beginning. You know, so I'm gonna still keep the hype, because there's not anything wrong with keeping the hype. And if down the line it falls off or whatever, but from the momentum, how Brennan's DMing, how every character fits every player at the table, which is going to be a shame if Brennan ends up killing their kids or killing any other. By the way, YouTube algorithm, I hope you got a little bit better. I'm talking about in-game, video game, not, I don't know if we got to still say game ending or I don't know. Like, read the context of the video, YouTube bot, or if there's a manual person reviewing this. Imagine the person working at YouTube is a critter, but who manually reviews videos. Anyways, this is a good campaign, guys. This is a good campaign. I feel like my intuition is usually strong when things are going to be good or bad. It doesn't matter how far along or how far wherever it is, I usually can tell. And the same when the characters got introduced for campaign 3, it felt more like I was trying to force myself to like all the characters or really let them grow. Like, it really took time. But when the character arc got dropped, and when it even got, I feel like just the hype around the campaign was good as well. Like, Matt's going to be playing a dickhead, like all of this. It's just like, it just all feels like the cards landed all right. And just around the time of the release of more Vox Machina, which I haven't been keeping up with, but the Mighty Nine, like, what? And here's the thing with the Mighty Nine. Oh man, I don't know how much they plan out the seasons for all of this, but there's really a lot of content if they want to stretch the sea. I could imagine there being like 7 seasons of Vox Machina, of the Mighty Nine. How many? Let me actually look while I'm with you guys. Or no, I won't stretch the video that long. I'll let you guys just go. Let me know what you think down below about episode 2. Write the moments that you liked, little things you caught. And again, like, there were moments I caught, but I'm just not mentioning and bringing up, that really, really stuck out or captured me. There's little like conversation between them or certain things that were said. Like, for example, when Thimble gave the note to Hal, it was pretty funny because I think, like, I forgot what Brennan was saying, but if you go back in the footage and looked, Laura asked Brennan who it was addressed to again, and he said Murray, but the note said Blair. And I wonder if he was doing that to mess around, or he like just mistook what she said. So Brennan was like, there you go, Hal, a note to Blair a note to Murray that says Blair's name on it. And then Hal was okay. So, that was like a funny moment, but I'm not mentioning it because it's just like little moments like that I catch, but it's like the bigger story things. I'm like, whoa, or character reveal. I'm like, whoa, Sir Julian Kakanos. Anyways, much love in Moonlight. Let me know what you think down below. I'm out of here. I'm done yapping.